Good morning, good morning. All right, Book of Jasher. We're in chapter 45. This is after Joseph was a real boss and absolutely relied on the Lord despite Zilkah and her literal threats to destroy him if he didn't commit adultery with her. And wow, his responses are the best responses. Magnifique. For example, I love this last one because he said, "It's better for me to remain in this house, the prison house, than to hearken to thy words to sin against God." And she said, "If you won't perform my wish, I'll pluck out your eyes and add fetters to your feet and deliver you into the hands of those who you did not know before. So I will chain you and I'll pluck out your eyes and you'll be sold as a slave again to unknown people. And behold, the God of the whole earth is able to deliver me from all that thou canst do to me. For he openeth the eyes of the blind, he looseth those that are bound, and preserveth all strangers who are unacquainted with the land." Dude, best guy ever. This is why whether this is an embellished story or not, this is the kind of stuff that's needed. All right, anyway, but let's keep going. So finally, Zilkah left off going to entice him. And Joseph was still confined in the house of confinement. And everyone was still weeping while he was away. All right, now, what was interesting is I posed this question to my daughters about how do you view the situation with Joseph being imprisoned, right? Because I kind of explained the situation, did a quick rundown of the story. I couldn't remember how awesome the quotations of Joseph were, so I wasn't able to get those exactly right, but I basically said, was it unjust for him to be thrown into that prison house? And they're like, well, they're not killing him because they knew he was innocent, but in a way, it's protecting them, Joseph, from her, from Zilkah. Still 3 months in prison. God, that's annoying. Well, Joseph was the man. So let's continue. Chapter 45. "And it was at that time that in that year, which is the year of Joseph's going down to Egypt, after his brothers had sold him, that Reuben, the son of Jacob, went to Timnah, and took for him a wife, Eliuram, the daughter of Avi the Canaanite, and he came to her. And Eliuram, the wife of Reuben, conceived and bare him Hanach, Palu, Chetzeron, and Carmi, 4 sons, and Simeon, his brother, took his sister Dinah for a wife, and she bare unto him Memuel, Yamin, Ohad, Jachin, and Zochar, 5 sons." Just a second. I did not know that that was the fate of Dinah. And so I want to check on that. All right, that's where we're reading in Samuel. Let's go to Old Testament 40. More about Joseph. Okay. This is about Judah. So wait a minute. This started with Reuben went to Timnah. But in chapter 38, it focuses on Judah, who went down to get a wife from Shua. So Reuben went to Timnah and took for him a wife, Eliuram. Okay. This is the whole idea of, Okay, interesting. So this is not in Genesis at all. So, all right. I have to shrug my shoulders about the genealogy here. All right. So Simeon, his brother, took the wife of sister Dinah. Afterward came to Bunah, the Canaanitish woman. The same is Bunah, whom Simeon took captive from the city of Shechem. And Bunah was before Dinah, and attended upon her. And Simeon came to her, and she bare unto him Saul. And Judah went at that time to, and this is where it picks up in Genesis, and Judah went at that time to Adullam. And he came to a man of Adullam, and his name was Hirah. And Judah saw the daughter of a man from Canaan, and her name was Aliath, the daughter of Shua. And he took her, and came unto her, and Aliath bare unto Judah Onan, and Shiloh, 3 sons. And Levi and Issachar went to the land of the east, and they took themselves for wives and daughters of Jobab the son of Joktan, and the son of Eber. And Jobab the son of Joktan had 2 daughters, and the name of the elder was Adinah, and the name of the younger was Eridah. And Levi took Adinah, and Issachar took Eridah. And they came to the land of Canaan, to their father's house, and Adinah bare unto Levi Gershon, Kehath, and Merari, 3 sons. And Eridah bare unto Issachar Tola, Puvah, Job, Shomron, 4 sons. And Dan went to the land of Moab, and took for wife Apheleth, and the daughter of Cammudan, and the Moabite. And he brought her to the land of Canaan. And Aphlaleth was barren, she had no offspring. And God afterward remembered Aphlaleth, the wife of Dan, and she conceived and bare a son, and called his name Chushim. And Gad and Naphtali went to Haran, and took from thence the daughters of Amram, sons of Uz, sons of Nahor, for wives. And these are the names of the daughters of Amram. The name of the elder was Merimah, and the name of the younger was Uzith. And Naphtali took Merimah, and Gad took Uzith, and brought them to the land of Canaan, to their father's house. And Merimah bare unto Naphtali Yakzeel, Guni, Jazer, and Shalem, 4 sons. And Uzith bare unto Gad Zephion, Chagi, Shuni, Esbon, Eri, Arodi, and Arali, 7 sons. And Asher went forth, and took Adon, the daughter of Aphlal, the son of Hadad, the son of Ishmael, for a wife. And he brought her to the land of Canaan. And Adon, the wife of Asher, died in those days, and she had no offspring. It was after the death of Adon that Asher went to the other side of the river, and took for a wife Hadurah, daughter of Abimael, the son of Eber, the son of Shem. And the young woman was of comely appearance, and whose just a second. Hadurah, the daughter of Abimael, son of Eber, son of Shem. Okay, so now we're getting to what we have in Genesis here. And Hadurah bare a daughter unto Malchiel, and he called her name Sherek. And Malchiel died after this. And Hadurah went and remained in her father's house. And after the death of the wife of Asher, he went and took Hadurah for a wife, and brought her to the land of Canaan. And Serach, her daughter, he also brought with them. And she was 3 years old, and the damsel was brought up in Jacob's house. And the damsel was of comely appearance, and she went in the sanctified ways of the children of Jacob. She lacked nothing, and the Lord gave her wisdom and understanding. And Hadurah, the wife of Asher, conceived, and bare unto him Yimnah, Yishva, Yeshivi, Beriah, 4 sons. I guess I'm not to the Genesis part. And Zebulun went to Midian and took for a wife Marishah, the daughter of Moled, the son of Abiah, son of Midian, and brought her to the land of Canaan. And Marishah bare unto Zebulun Sered, Elon, Yachleel, 3 sons. And Jacob sent to Aram, the son of Zobah, the son of Terah, and he took for his son Benjamin Mechaliah, the daughter of Aram, and she came to the land of Canaan, to the house of Jacob. And Benjamin was 10 years old when he took Mechaliah, the daughter of Amram, for a wife. Okay. I'm trying to figure out, how old are you considered an adult? Apparently 10. Because I remember Rachel being espoused at 10. But Benjamin is also 10. So they did not have a problem with age differences. I wonder if the whole age difference problem comes from the systematizing of our education, right? Huh. So Benjamin was 10 years old when he took Mechaliah, the daughter of Aram, for a wife. It could also be political. Now, sure, that's technically your wife or your husband, but it's kind of a political alliance. That could be another thing, but I don't know if that was a thing back then. Again, it's my experience. This is so foreign to me that I'm imposing a lot of my ideas onto, well, why so young? Perhaps they were more mature when they were younger. Perhaps, I don't know. Perhaps it was just expected. You're 10 years old. You're good. Mechaliah. And Mechaliah conceived and bare unto Benjamin Bela, Becher, Ashbel, Gera, and Naaman, 5 sons. And Benjamin went afterward and took for a wife Aribath, the daughter of Shomron, the son of Abraham, in addition to his first wife. And he was 18 years old, and Aribath bare unto Benjamin Achi, Vosh, Mupim, Trippim, and Ord, 5 sons. In those days Judah went to the house of Shem and took Tamar, the daughter of Elam, the son of Shem, for a wife, and for his firstborn And came to his wife Tamar, and she bare. Is this the one we're waiting for? I think this is it, because it's Judah. Sorry, I was trying to I read a little ahead, and I was trying to figure out all this stuff. And came to his wife Tamar, when she became his wife. And when he came to her, he outwardly destroyed his seed, and his work was evil in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord slew him. And it was after the death of that Judah's firstborn, that Judah said unto Onan, Go to thy brother's wife, and marry her as the next of kin, and raise up seed to thy brother. And Onan took Tamar for a wife, and he came to her, and Onan also did like the work of his brother, and his work was evil in the sight of the Lord, and he slew him also. And when Onan died, Judah said unto Tamar, Remain in thy father's house until my son Shiloh shall have grown up. And Judah did no more delight in Tamar, to give her unto Shiloh. For he said, Peradventure he will also die like his brothers. And Tamar rose up and went and remained in her father's house. And Tamar was in her father's house for some time. And at the revolution of the year, Aliath, the wife of Judah, died, and Judah was comforted for his wife. And after the death of Aliath, Judah went up to his friend Hira to Timnah to shear their sheep. And Tamar heard that Judah had gone up to Timnah to shear the sheep, and that Shiloh was grown up, and Judah did not delight in her. And Tamar rose up and put off the garments of her widowhood, and put on a veil of her, and she went entirely covered herself, and she went and sat in the public thoroughfare, which is upon the road to Timnah. And Judah passed and saw her, and took her, and he came to her, and she conceived by him. And by the time of being delivered, behold, there were twins in her womb. And she called the name of the first Perez, and the name of the second Zerah, which I wonder about what the meanings are. They don't have it in here, but to me, it's interesting. Here you have a Levirate marriage situation, and by the command of Judah, it was not being fulfilled, and that's why she goes and does this. And in those days, Joseph was confined in Egypt, confined in prison house in the land of Egypt. Wait, we didn't get the second half of the story about what? Tamar. Huh. So in Genesis, he's upset that Tamar is pregnant. Judah is upset that Tamar is pregnant. He's like, well, who did this? Why are you going out and acting like a... And she's like, I am pregnant by the man who gave me these things, this ring and the staff, and, oh, it's yours, Judah, so, who's the righteous one now? I'm the one fulfilling the obligations I'm supposed to, and you weren't. And he's like, oh, yeah, I guess you were more righteous than me at this point. So we're not getting that half. We're on chapter 51. In those days, Joseph was still confined in the prison house in the land of Egypt. At that time, the attendants of Pharaoh were standing before him, the chief of the butlers and the chief of the baker, which belonged to the king of Egypt. And the butler took wine and placed it before the king to drink. And the baker placed the bread before the king to eat. And the king drank of the wine and ate of the bread, and his servants and ministers that ate at the king's table. And once they were eating and drinking, the butler and the baker remained there. And the Pharaoh's ministers found many flies in the wine which the butler had brought, and stones of niter were found in the baker's bread. Stones of niter? Is this the... I'm wondering if that's baking soda for the bread to rise. N-I-T-R-E. So we're getting more of a story of why is it native sodium carbonate. Yeah. So baking soda, basically. Niter. Let me see if they have more information on it here. Mineral potassium nitrate. Is a soft, white, highly soluble mineral found primarily in arid climates or cave deposits. It's of great importance in use of fertilizers and historically gunpowder. The term niter was not well differentiated from natron. Vaguely defined, but generally refer to compounds of sodium or potassium combined with carbonate or nitrate ions. Let's see if it was natron instead. Natron is naturally occurring sodium carbonate, decahydrate, kind of soda ash, and around 17% sodium bicarbonate, also called baking soda. Yep, along with small quantities of sodium chloride. Okay. Information on the mineral, importance in antiquity. Mixture from dry lake beds in ancient Egypt. Cleaning product, soap, softens water, early mouthwashes and antiseptics. Mineral was used during mummification. Ooh. Pyramids and texts. Okay. It's now filled by a lot of that is filled by regular, ordinary baking soda. So I was close. Okay. So you can think of it as unrefined baking soda. Could be also used, that kind of stuff. So the wine had flies, and the bread had niter in it. And the captain of the guard placed Joseph as an attendant on Pharaoh's officers, and Pharaoh's officers were in confinement 1 year. At the end of the year, they both dreamed dreams in one night. In the place of confinement they were, and in the morning Joseph came to them and attended upon them as usual. And he saw them, and behold, their countenances were dejected and sad. And Joseph asked them, Why are your countenances sad and dejected this day? And they said unto him, We dreamed a dream, and there is no one to interpret it. And Joseph said unto them, Relate, I pray you, your dream unto me, and God shall give you an answer of peace, as you desire. And the butler related his dream unto Joseph, and he said, I saw in my dream and beheld a large vine before me, and upon that vine I saw 3 branches of the vine, speedily blossomed, and reached a great height, and its clusters were ripened, and became grapes. And I took the grapes, and pressed them in a cup, and placed it in Pharaoh's hand, and he drank. And Joseph said unto him, Those 3 branches that were upon the vine are 3 days, yet within 3 days the king will order thee to be brought out, and he will restore thee to thine office. And thou shalt give the king his wine to drink, as at first. Thou wast his butler. But let me find favor in thy sight, that thou wilt remember me to Pharaoh, when it will be well with thee, and do kindness unto me, and get me brought forth from this prison. For I was stolen away from the land of Canaan, was sold for a slave in this place. And also that which was told thee concerning my master's wife is false, for they placed me in this dungeon for naught. And the butler answered Joseph, saying, If the king deal well with me, as at first, as thou hast interpreted to me, I will do all that thou desirest, and get thee brought out of this dungeon. And the baker, seeing that Joseph had accurately interpreted the butler's dream, also approached and related the whole of his dream to Joseph. And he said unto him, In my dream I saw and beheld 3 white baskets upon my head. And I looked and beheld there were in the uppermost basket all manner of baked meats. And for Pharaoh, and behold, the birds were eating them off my head. And Joseph said unto him, The 3 baskets which thou didst see are 3 days. Yet within 3 days Pharaoh will take off thy head, and hang thee upon a tree. And the birds will eat thy flesh from off thee, as thou sawest in thy dreams. In those days the queen was about to be delivered. And upon that day she bare a son unto the king of Egypt. And they proclaimed that the king had gotten his firstborn son. And the people of Egypt, together with the officers and servants of Pharaoh, rejoiced greatly. And upon the 3rd day of his birth, Pharaoh made a feast for his officers and servants, for those hosts of the land of Zoar, and of the land of Egypt. And all the people of Egypt and the servants of Pharaoh came to eat and drink with the king in the feast of his son, to rejoice at the king's rejoicing. And all the officers of the king and his servants were rejoicing at that time for 8 days at the feast. And they made merry with all sorts of musical instruments, with timbrels and dances in the king's house for 8 days. And the butler, whom Joseph had interpreted his dream, forgot Joseph, and he did not mention him to the king, as he had promised. For this thing was from the Lord, in order to punish Joseph, because he had trusted in man. And Joseph remained after this in prison house 2 years, until he had completed 12 years. Okay, so Joseph goes into Egypt when he's 18. I think stays about a year in Potiphar's house, so he's 18, 19 now. Followed by which he's thrown in prison 3 months. Well, Zilliqa still comes at him, still remains awesome in his replies, trusting in God. But then 12 years in prison, so that would have been 32. So he's around 30 now. Okay. I'm doing mental math. So he's going to be around 30 by the time he's getting out. And I find it interesting because Genesis doesn't say anything about Joseph being punished for saying, hey, deliver me from this to the butler. I find it fascinating that it does here. So, chapter 47. Whew. Yeah, we can do it. And Isaac, the son of Abraham, was still living in those days. Way different than Genesis then. Remember how I was confused, I think 2 readings ago, because everyone was crying over Joseph and Isaac. In Genesis, Isaac had died before Joseph was taken away. So when Isaac came and comforted Jacob, I was like, wait, what? But apparently, Isaac, the son of Abraham, was still living in those days in the land of Canaan, and he was very aged, 180 years old. And Esau, his son, brother of Jacob, was in the land of Edom, and he and his sons had possession in it amongst the children of Seir. And Esau heard that his father's time was drawing nigh to die, and he and his sons and household came unto the land of Canaan, unto his father's house. And Jacob and his sons went forth from the place where they dwelt in Hebron, and they all came to their father Isaac. And they found Esau and his sons in the tent. And Jacob and his sons sat before his father Isaac. And Jacob was still mourning for his son Joseph. And Isaac said unto Jacob, Bring me hither thy sons, and I will bless them. And Jacob brought his 11 children before his father Isaac. And Isaac placed his hands upon all the sons of Jacob. And he took hold of them, and he braced them, and he kissed them one by one. And Isaac blessed them on that day. And he said unto them, May the God of your fathers bless you, and increase your seed, like the stars of heaven, for number. And Isaac also blessed the sons of Esau, saying, May God cause you to be a dread and a terror to all that will behold you, and to all your enemies. And Isaac called Jacob and his sons, and they all came and sat before Isaac. And Isaac said unto Jacob, The Lord God of the whole earth said unto me, Unto thy seed I will give this land for an inheritance, if thy children keep my statutes and my ways. And I will perform unto them the oath which I swore unto thy father Abraham. Now therefore, my son, teach thy children and thy children's children to fear the Lord, and to go in the good way which will please the Lord thy God. For if you will keep the ways of the Lord and his statutes, the Lord will also keep unto you his covenant with Abraham, and will do well with you and your seed all the days. And when Isaac had finished commanding Jacob and his children, he gave up the ghost and died, and was gathered unto his people. And Jacob and Esau fell upon the face of their father Isaac, and they wept. And Isaac was 180 years old when he died, in the land of Canaan, in Hebron, and his sons carried him to the cave of Machpelah, which Abraham had brought from the children of Heth for possession, and of a burial place. And all the kings of the land of Canaan went with Jacob and Esau to bury Isaac. And all the kings of Canaan showed Isaac great honor at his death. And the sons of Jacob and the sons of Esau went barefooted round about, walking and lamenting, until they reached Kirith Arba. And Jacob and Esau buried their father with Isaac in the cave. Jacob and Esau buried Isaac in the cave of Machpelah, which is in Kirith Arba, in Hebron. And they buried him with a very great honor, and as at the funeral of kings. And Jacob and his sons, and Esau and his sons, and all the kings of Canaan made a great and heavy mourning, and they buried him and mourned him many days. And at the death of Isaac he left his cattle and possessions, and all belonging to him to his sons. And Esau said unto Jacob, Sorry, I'm trying to figure out who is the subject of giving his stuff at the death of Isaac. I figured it was Jacob, because and Jacob and his sons, and Esau and his sons, and all the kings of Canaan made great heavy mourning those days. And at the death of Isaac, he, I don't know who, it could have been Jacob or Esau, left everything to his sons. And Esau said unto Jacob, Behold, I pray thee, all that our father has left, we will divide it in 2 parts. No, it's the subject is Isaac. At the death of Isaac, he left his cattle and possessions, all belonging to him, to his sons. So Isaac is the one giving away his stuff at his death. And Esau said to Jacob, Behold, I pray thee that our father has left, we will divide it into 2 parts, and I will have the choice. And Jacob said, We will do so. And Jacob took all that Isaac had left in the land of Canaan, the cattle and the property, and he placed them in 2 parts before Esau and his sons. And he said unto Esau, Behold, all this is before thee. Choose thou unto thyself the half which thou wilt take. Ah, I divide, you pick. I cut, you choose. Works really great with kids and cookies and cake or whatever else they want. And Jacob said unto Esau, Hear thou, I pray thee, what I will speak unto thee, saying, The Lord God of heaven and the earth spoke unto our fathers Abraham and Isaac, saying, Unto thy seed I will give this land for an inheritance forever. Now therefore all that our father has left us is before thee, and behold, all the land is before thee. So you can have what was left, or all the land, but just warning you, God said that my seed would get the land, so your choice. But I'm saying that, I think he's implying that if you choose the land, there's going to be problems down the road, because maybe not this generation or the next generation, but it'll be taken. So, yeah. Now therefore all that our fathers left before thee, and all the land is before thee. Choose thou from them what thou desirest. If thou desirest the whole land, take it for thee and thy children forever, and I will take this riches. And if thou desirest the riches, take it unto thee, and I will take this land for me and my children to inherit it forever. And Nebaioth, the son of Ishmael, was then in the land with his children. And Esau went on that day and consulted with him, saying, Thus has Jacob spoken to me, and thus has he answered me. Now give thy advice, and we will hear. And Nebaioth said, What is this that Jacob hath spoken unto thee? Behold, all the children of Canaan are dwelling securely in their land, and Jacob saith he will inherit it with his seed all the days. Go now, therefore, and take all thy father's riches, and leave Jacob thy brother in the land, as he has spoken. And Esau rose up and returned to Jacob, and did all that Nebaioth and the sons of Ishmael had advised. And Esau took all the riches that Isaac had left, the souls of the beasts, the cattle, the property, and all the riches. He gave nothing to his brother Jacob. And Jacob took all the land of Canaan, from the brook of Egypt unto the river Euphrates, and took it for an everlasting possession, and for his children and for his seed ever after. Jacob also took from his brother Esau the cave of Machpelah, which is in Hebron. And Abraham had brought from Ephron for possession of a burial place for him and his seed forever. And Jacob wrote all these things in the book of purchase, and he signed it, and he testified all this with 4 faithful witnesses. And all these are the words which Jacob wrote in the book, saying, The land of Canaan, and all the cities of the Hittites, Hivites, Jebusites, the Amorites, Perizzites, and Girgashites, all the 7 nations from the river of Egypt unto the river Euphrates, and the city of Hebron, Kith Arba, and the cave which is in it, the whole did Jacob buy from his brother Esau for value, for a possession, and for an inheritance for his seed after him forever. And Jacob took the book of purchase and signed the command and the statutes and the revealed book, and he placed them in the earthen vessel in order that they should remain for a long time. And he delivered them into the hands of his children. And Esau took all that his father had left him after his death from his brother Jacob. And he took all the property from the man and beast and camel, and ass, ox, and lamb, silver and gold, stones of bdellium, and all the riches which had belonged to Isaac the son of Abraham. And there was nothing left which Esau did not take unto himself from all that Isaac had left after his death. And Esau took all this, and he and his children went home to the land of Seir, the Horite, away from his brother Jacob and his children. And Esau had possession amongst the children of Seir, and Esau returned not to the land of Canaan from that day forward. And the whole land of Canaan became an inheritance to the children of Israel for an everlasting inheritance. And Esau with his children inherited the mountain of Seir. All right, now we're going to go back to Joseph after all that. But, wow, that's okay. Quite different from Genesis in the fact that Isaac didn't die until much later. Let's see here. There was also a whole lot more genealogy naming names of both sons and daughters, which again, Genesis focuses on the sons, but not the daughters. And again, don't know why. It could have been stripped out. It could have been just not the main part of the narrative of the author of that section. Then we also have more of the less of the story of Tamar going to making sure the Levirate marriage that Judah was supposed to take care of is taken care of. They put less in of that. So that's interesting. I think it's important to understand that despite different discrepancies between the two, I mean, some people are just like, oh, well, this is just an apocryphal book, so, whatever. But I do believe that as in the Doctrine and Covenants, it basically states that, hey, when you read the Apocrypha, listen to the Spirit and take from the stories that which is important, right? So for me, there are certain stories that I can tell are structured in a story-like way. The two that I really love and want to take with me is going to be the story of Abraham dismissing the wife of Esau, how she was just a terrible woman. And so he basically was like, really? Oh, no, wait, it was Ishmael. It was Abraham and Ishmael, because it was Jacob, Isaac and Ishmael. It was Ishmael's wife. Sorry. So it was Abraham and Ishmael's wife. Because Ishmael was married to some harpy who complained about him. The children, beat the children, was a terrible host. And Abraham was such a great host. This was horrific. Like, I love that story. Obviously, you can tell it is structured as a story. But dang, it's a good story. It shows exactly how the values of what you should look for in a wife. Someone who doesn't complain, someone who is a good host, someone who takes care of the children, that kind of thing. In the same token, in a page or two later, you get everything that men should be. And when Abraham dies, you get the idea of you should be a good host, you should help those who are in need and feed the stranger and put clothes on the back of those who lack, and uphold the community in all these ways. Like, it's great for those two things. I also love the story of Joseph's rebukes of Zilekha. And yeah, I think that's really good. Of course, it's more embellished and made more into a big story, but I don't care. I think that is great. You rarely get that. Hi, kitty. So I also really love and appreciate kitty. Come here, bitty baby. That way you don't have your fluffy button for people's faces. You want to stay on my lap. Whoa, don't knock it down, you goober. Anyway, the other thing that I really love is how when Reuben does things stupid with his father's wife, that he lost that he loses both the kingdom, the priesthood, and the birthright, and those are separated into 3 different places. So, yeah. These are all things that I'm like, this is stuff that you should take with you. These are stories that are important. I find it interesting. I'm always kind of half and half when it comes to how severe different apocryphal texts talk about how you should adhere to the Lord. Because in some ways it's really inspiring, in other ways it's very disparaging. What I mean is this. For example, I was really interested in, like, what is it? Someone's eagle. Esther's eagle? No. I can't remember. The shepherd. Ezra's eagle. And so I looked it up on the internet one day, and I started off, okay, I'm going to read this. And I started reading it, and it starts out with him feeling very rebuked for thinking kindly about a woman. Basically, right, kitty, you wanted kisses, right? Is that what you're looking for? You could say maybe he was lusting after her, but at the same time, it did not sound like it. It sounded a lot along the lines of, I was just admiring the lady. And because I was admiring her, that was too much. So, okay, fine, I'll give you warmth and kisses. She wants to rub my face. She loves to shove her nose up my nose. So, it made me, because it was so strict, it was like inspiring, because it's like, wow, I need to do better, which is a good thing. At the same time, it's like, wow, for doing that, it's, why? Okay, hi. She really wants attention. At the same time, although you can be very much inspired by going, wow, this is such a great example that even just admiring a lady, not even like thinking bad or ill about her, was too much, and he was kind of rebuked by a vision of her, and before the Ezra's eagle vision started. And at the same time, I'm like, dang, if that's the standard, holy crap. So it's both a rebuke and inspirational. And so the same thing is here with Joseph. Joseph is like, oh, get our kitty. Well, Mamo, stop. Yes, you're feeling very lovey. Okay. But, what? Pardon me, technical difficulties due to cats. Here Joseph is saying that I'm... Hi, dear. Yeah, oh, yeah, you're so cute. He's punished for asking for help from the butler. And so he's punished to finish his 12 years because he had asked for help from the butler to get out of prison instead of the Lord. So, again, inspirational and demanding at the same time, of showing, well, hey, you should rely on the Lord for everything. At the same time, it's like, what's so great a terrible thing to sit there and say, hey, you know, I interpreted you, please remember me before Pharaoh. The original story, you don't get this thing of, well, he was punished, so he had to stay there until that. So again, you gotta use the Spirit, and that's the important thing, is take from these extracurricular readings the most important things that you can feel very inspired, and how they will increase your faith in God and inspire righteousness. Come here, Goober. Just sit on my lap and you get more love that way. You Goober. Anyway, so with that, I hope that the Spirit of the Lord will guide you in understanding these readings for yourself and what you need. And remember, He'll be with you as long as you call on His name and ask unwaveringly. And so, may He be with you always. We'll see you.